In the world of clicks and views, we got the tricks, ain't got time to lose. Christina and Joe dropping knowledge non-stop for all you realtors. Climbing to the top. Grab your camera, let's make the tape. Content gold, no time to waste. From open house to renovation glory, YouTube secrets unfold your story. Build those leads with every post. Christina and Joe, the ultimate hosts. Market trends and virtual tours. Turn those watchers into door knocking scores. Lights, camera, action, go live. Tips and tricks to help you thrive. Thumbnail magic, title spice. A clickbait charm, but a touch of nice. SEO game on point and tight. Comments buzz.
How about that?
Love it. Very, very, very great. I love the intro, the graphics. It just gets you in the mood to like do a live stream, you know?
It does. It does. Well, my friend, we have an exciting show today because we're talking about how you can get more leads on with using your YouTube content. A couple little announcements. First off, we have a call-in feature here on the YouTube Real Estate Video Geeks where you can call in your questions. If you can't make the live stream, but you want to ask a question, you can do that. And we have a couple calls that we're going to be reviewing today. We also are doing a channel review. We got one channel review to do. And what else was there? Oh, this is really important. So at the end of the year, January 1, the new pricing comes in for the Real Estate Video Geeks. So if you want to pay, $2,000 less, go ahead and sign up now. That doesn't mean you have to take it now. So some people, we have a couple of people that have already done this. They went ahead and paid for it now, but they're not going to take it until after the first of the year, which is fine. They can do that. But we are upping the price because we're adding a lot more features. So, it's worth it. That's all I can say. It's worth it. We have the students to prove it. It's totally worth it. So, anyway.
Yeah, we do. It's awesome. So yeah, good point. So definitely don't delay if you're going to do it.
Yeah, don't delay. No more dilly-dallying. Yeah. So I know that everybody has had the end of the year kind of like nervousness because of the change in commission structures. And, we had to adapt to new rules. And people are starting to freak out because homes are not selling as much. But I can promise you, that the students that we have are very grateful that they made the change when they did, because it put them in line for when all these changes got made, they were still getting money. We're not just teaching you how to make money, selling houses. We're teaching you how to turn your YouTube channel into an income driven stream of income. Like, I think it was Jackie Baker said, when you told me I could make this amount of money, I didn't believe you. And now I'm so thankful, like that's what she said. So take it from something that like really knows. And that's what our course is all about. It isn't just getting leads. Of course, that's a main part of it, but it's also making money in other ways using your YouTube channel. You're making the content anyway, so you might as well make some money.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Speaking of that, you see these glasses, these little glasses? I got these on Amazon, right? And they're just reading glasses, and because I can't see close up worth of poop. And I've been wearing them on my live streams. And last week, somebody asked me where I got the glasses from. So I put them in the chat. Do you know I sold 3 pairs of these stupid little glasses? That was like $10.
Yeah. And it took you all of 2 seconds to put the link in, right?
Yeah. 2 seconds to put the link in. And, I sold a few pairs of glasses, my famous one is that I wear overalls in any videos that I ever do about land. And I wore these really goofy, almost clown type of overalls. All the dudes hated them. All the women loved them. And to this date, I've sold over $10,000 in commissions on something I was just doing anyways. I was wearing overalls in a land video. And I every time somebody said, "Where'd you get those overalls from?" I give them that Amazon link. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but people don't think about that. Like those little things, like they add up, and the thing is that they can go back and watch the video over and over and over, and that link is still there.
Yep. Yep. Jerry Blanton says, "Oh, Christy's back in the closet." Yeah. So this is my old studio. I don't know if you know that, Joe. I used to do all my videos in this room here.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I remember when we would have our accountability calls and you were in there.
yeah. Yep. And it is an actual closet. Believe
Yeah.
it or not.
Very cool.
I turned a closet into an office.
So what you're telling me is it doesn't really matter where you film. You can make it work. It doesn't have to be like this crazy studio in order to put good content out.
And a lot of people, they're like, I don't have a studio. I'm like, then don't be in a studio. Don't just walk outside. Walk outside. Just take your camera and walk outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many times people have like they'll live in the most beautiful places on the planet.
And then they're doing green screen.
And they're doing green screen. There was a guy I was talking to, and he was in Hawaii, and I was like, why are you doing green screen? Well, that's because I saw the other people doing green screen. And I said, you live in the most beautiful place on the planet.
And you're selling real estate.
Go outside.
Why are you not showing that stuff? Yeah.
Go outside. Take your camera, go outside. Yes. So yeah, I'm back. Well,
I'm testing out all my new buttons here.
Yeah. Says, I don't have any nice spaces for a video here at the beach. I'm going to Amazon to buy a green screen. No.
I caught a tinge of sarcasm in that comment.
Yeah, Jeremy's been around for a long time. He was doing YouTube content before I was. Back in the day, he was an SEO king. When that was the thing. Oh, that rhymed.
Yeah, you rhymed. You didn't even know. Yep.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can sell $10,000 of these.
Go for it. You got this.
So, what was I going to tell you? Oh, well, we have a phone call, and I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to put one of the phone calls in, but before I do that, I'm going to show the phone number. So, if you want to call and ask a question for the live stream, and you couldn't make the live stream, you can actually call in, and we have a little AI robot named Frank who answers the phone, and he will record your message for you. So here is our first call. Ready?
Bill Bolson, can you show us how you set this thing up?
What's he talking about?
He's talking about the actual calling thing.
Oh, got it.
He wants to know how we did the call-in feature. So there's a few ways you could do this. If you want to do it the most economical way, because this little program is not, it ain't cheap. put it to you that way. But you could just do it with a Google number, and they can record the calls, and that will work out for you. That's what I would tell every real estate agent to do, unless you have a huge advertising budget that you need to spend. Just go get a Google Voice and have it answer, and just train your audience to say, hey, you can leave a message for me for the live stream, and I will put your call on the live stream at a future date.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell you to do, because this program right here, how we set this up, this is going to.
Yeah, it's really, you're talking to an actual AI assistant, and there's a lot more to it than just leaving a message. I actually use it for all of my property management and real estate. So you definitely, if you're interested, you can let us know. But like the thing is exactly like what Christina's saying. For a budget, you're going to want to be able to just, and we got this from Jen Sylvester actually, to call, get a Google number, and have them leave a voicemail, and then you can download it. Yep. If you want to do the little graphics, if you want to learn how to do the little graphics, we can show you how to do that as well.
Oh, that's really easy. You want to show them real quick how we did that? I
don't have anything open right now, but if you want, yeah, why don't you do it?
Okay, let me show this screen. Share screen. Which one? Okay. All right. Matter of fact, I still have this one up from his question. So This is just Adobe Express. I got the free version because I'm cheap. Are you able to see this?
Yep,
Joe?
it looks great.
Okay. And then over here, they have this thing called animated characters. You click on that, and then it has all the animated characters you can pick. I could pick a little alien, and have them talk, a little lunchbox, anything you want. But this is, like I said, this is the free version. And then you can change the background as well, right? So you can change it to whatever you want it to be. And then there's a little tab right down here that says browse. And I take the recording of the call and I download it to my desktop. And then I just upload it here where it says browse. Now notice that it can only be 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
If the call ends up being 2 minutes long, over 2 minutes long, just edit it down where you take out where Frank or whoever it is answering, take that part out and just condense it out a little.
Just to where they're asking their question or whatever.
Just where they're asking their question. And if they'll do a lot of this because I do it too, like, and they'll take a long pauses. You can cut those out too, just to kind of shorten that down a little bit. So it is under the 2 minutes, but I haven't had anybody go over 2 minutes yet. So that's how I do it. Easy enough. Easy
peasy. And so then you hit the button and it'll actually generate the video, and then you can download it and upload it anywhere. So you could do this with all kinds of stuff. Like we're doing it obviously with our live stream to make it more interactive with you guys when you call in, and then putting a little avatar with it. But you can do it in your social media. You could do it as you're interviewing someone. Like there's lots of ways that you could do that. Very, very fun, and more of a pattern interrupt and a disruption, and something that's kind of fun just to get people to stay engaged.
I did have a really long call from a woman who was claiming that I was trying to hide the fact that I was a real estate agent. And so my AI robot was trying to, she was arguing with the lady. So I left the whole thing so the audience could hear it. So,
was Christina AI a little snarky?
She was very rude. I kept interrupting her as she was talking and stuff. So I was like, everybody needs to hear how this whole thing went down. So if there's any kind of like, I just want you to hear the whole thing, So everybody was like, oh no, drama. Look, she's hiding. She's a real estate agent. I'm like, it's literally listed everywhere. Even the bridge that I work for, everywhere. So I don't know. She thought she was really uncovering some big mystery. So, but that's okay, But we do have one more question that came in from the AI answering here. All right, so let's go ahead.
Alicia Shivers. What is the criteria for either relaunching an old channel or launching a brand new channel?
I would say the criteria is you have a clear path of what is your avatar and your niche. And then when you decide to launch or relaunch, you have all those videos ready and already filmed for the day of launch or relaunch. That would be the criteria. So you understand who your avatar is, who you're making content for, and you have set up a time to relaunch your channel.
And if you've done all of that and you have everything set up, then it gives you really, really a good idea on, okay, do I want to launch a channel or do I want to relaunch my channel? Because what's going to happen is as you put this content together, you're going to realize that your avatar is different than what you had been doing before. Because what you'd been doing before is just whatever you wanted. And so understanding and knowing that if you continue and you relaunch your channel, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to take longer for your channel to actually get suggested to the right avatar. And it takes you being consistently posting to that stuff. Whereas with a brand new channel, there's nothing for it else to pull from. So it goes off of that and it's very consistent. So then it gets to your target audience a lot faster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've had students, relaunch their old channel and just kind of go from there. We had some students start a new channel and then they went back to their old channel, but with the new information from what they learned. And then their old channel ended up being more successful than their new channel because they learned so many lessons starting the new channel.
Mhm.
But Alicia, you're part of our group, so we can help you along the way. There we have a method and a path to launching and relaunching your channel. If you have any confusions to that, we can talk about that on the Discord. Just go ahead and ask that in the Discord, and I will give you the breakdown of exactly how you should be launching and relaunching your channel. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she said, thanks for re-explaining this. I just needed to clear that in my head. I think I'll start a brand new channel. Okay. We can
Yeah.
we can discuss it
Yeah,
too.
we can chat for sure. But honestly, it really just comes down to you understanding who you're making content for.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. But today we're here to talk about getting more real estate deals from your YouTube content. And I would say that one of the biggest mistakes that I see that a lot of real estate agents do is they think about their content as an ad where they're selling themselves.
Hmm.
So throughout the video, they're talking about, well, I did this and I did that, and they're talking about their brokerage and they're talking about their sales, and they're like, you need to call me, and then they're putting their phone number there, and their call to action is so incredibly strong, and wording, it sounds super salesy, and no one, and then they're like, well, I've done 3 calls to action, I told them what my phone number is. And there's so much more to a call to action than just saying, here's my phone number, call me,
Right.
and location of where you put that. So what would you say?
Yeah, I agree 100%. We're as real estate agents, you're always like in this advertising mode, right?
Right.
Where you're always like, oh, for sale, use like me, I can help you. Let me give you a referral. The best compliment is a referral, blah, 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 all the things, right? And
Mhm.
And yes, there are different mediums that's going to work better for. But think about it from the viewer perspective. And the viewer perspective is, why are they going to YouTube? Like,
Mhm.
what is the purpose of that? Are they going there to be entertained? Are they going there to learn something? Are they going there to check out? Are they going there? There's a reason that they're on there. And when you figure out, like, okay, real estate's a pretty complex thing. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces, there's a lot of parts, there's a lot of things to it. So, like, I always like, the first thing I would say is, when you see an ad on YouTube, what do?
You skip it.
You skip it, because you're not there to listen to an ad. You're
Mhm.
there because of another reason, and the reason is that you have either a need that needs to be fulfilled, you have a pain point that needs to be taken care of. But more and more people go to YouTube because they are trying to learn. They're
Mhm.
using it as a platform to understand, and someone that has gone down the path before, tutorials are a huge thing for that. Like, instruction is a huge thing for that. So when you understand, like, the viewer, and then you go, oh, like, I need to have a really clear path of who my viewer is, then you start making content specifically for that viewer. And then people are like, well, that's too niche specific, and it's too, you can't, there's no way that you can get enough views. But what really happens is, it actually opens up to a lot, and there's a huge group of people that fall in to that specific type of avatar.
Mhm.
But the issue is that most people sit down and go, what do I want to make today? I feel like I want to make a video about a home tour because I got this listing coming up and I want to do a video about that. And then you got someone else that's like, I want to make a video on, the 5 places to buy, and like all of these kind of things. And so what happens is, you get a big bowl and it all gets mixed in, and then they just grab a handful of it and throw it against the wall, and they're like, hopefully something sticks. And then they're like, why am I not getting any leads? It's a waste. YouTube sucks. like it hates me. I'm going to go back to paying Zillow because they're great.
Right. Well, and then like that is the like one of the biggest things. Like they put home tours on there, and then they're putting education on there. Then
Right.
home tours and education, which are two totally different types of style of videos. You're confusing YouTube. You're confusing the avatar. You know, like you're not making content for anyone. You're just hoping, again, spaghetti against the wall, hoping something sticks and somebody calls. Jeremy made a very good point. He said, one of my biggest keys to my success is to have to focus on being an excellent storyteller. People connect to stories, not the salesman. And
100%.
And when people start off a video with saying, "Hi, my name is Jeremy Blanton. I work for, Remax Plus, and I've been selling homes for the last 30 years. Make sure you call me before you make your next real estate decision." Now to the video. At that point, people have tuned out.
They're gone.
They're gone. The smartest thing you could do is give them, like Jeremy says, give them a good story of how you helped a young mom find her very first house, and you walked her through all those steps, and you held her hand the whole entire way, so that way she was able to get her home. It took a little while, but at least you were able to do that, and you kept checking in on her. First of all, that would make me as a consumer feel, wow, this guy really cares. He's making the home buying process feel safe. I didn't have a lot of money. He took the time to walk me through the process of buying a house. That's a great story. I would love to work with that guy. You get that really interesting story first, and then say, if you're in the same situation, feel free. Don't feel like you can't call me. I'm never too busy. Here's my phone number. And then you get back into the next story.
Yep.
That call to action is going to be 10 times more successful than you trying to, call me now because I know the area,
Well, and that's, I think that's a big takeaway from what you're saying on that is exactly the fact that you're providing value first.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing that I think, like how people start their YouTube videos when they start off is not how they talk to their clients.
Mm-hmm.
They talk to their clients way different. Like you get in the car with them, you don't just say, "Hey, like and subscribe," and like all this stuff, like me, go back to me. No, it's share
me with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you this crazy story. So this neighborhood that we're going to is, you won't believe it, but like 3 of the houses went under foreclosure because they had foundation issues.
Mm-hmm.
And you start off telling them because you're the expert, that information, you share that information, and then they're hooked, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, well, tell me more. Okay, well, here's what happened. I just had I'm totally going to throw this in here. I wish I had this clip, but have you ever seen Strange Brew?
No.
Okay, so it's an old 80s movie, but basically is with Rick Moranis, and I don't remember who the other, Doug something, or no, that was his name. But anyway, they're Canadians, and they get these donuts, and there's a secretary, and they're trying to get into this brewery, and they're trying to get information, and so they get these donuts, and they give the secretary these donuts, and then the secretary then divulges all this information. So he's like, hold on, I got to find the clip, and I'm going to show it one of these days.
Oh my God.
That went through my mind literally as I was talking, because it's like you're telling a story and then you're enticing them. And then she goes like, well, let me tell you. And she goes into it and tells them all the things that's going on with this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That type of engagement and in storytelling is what you do, when you're working with your clients. And it may not be as animated. You don't have to do that. But like one of the things that people like is they like a good story, but that story has a purpose. And the purpose is, for whatever reason, such and such, like these are terrible mistakes that people make. And here's why. Don't ever sign over, your stuff for crypto. Like, here's a story of what happened. Like, because we all have crazy stories. People want to hear that. They want to know that. And then they look at you and they're like, wow, like he's a real person. He's not a robot, and he's talking to me. He's sharing experiences. I like him because he just shared Strange Brew and I like Strange Brew. So now all of a sudden I feel like I know him a little bit more. And
Yeah.
that is how you build a relationship to where then they like you, they trust you, and want to give you their information for you to help them.
Yep. Exactly. That's funny about the donuts thing, because that's exactly how I got my tiny house approved at my rental property.
Tell me the story. You can't leave me hanging. What
Well,
happened?
well, there's this lady that's up there, right? And she's cranky. We'll just leave it at that. Well, and when I went in there, it was like I was a moldy fungus. Like she did not want to help me at all. So I was
Mhm.
like, let me try this. So I sent Eddie up there with donuts. And what do you know? Not only did we get a new address for the tiny home, we also got a new mailbox for that tiny home with
That's
no
awesome.
without separate tax codes. Without separate tax codes. I was like, yeah. So always bring donuts.
Yeah, telling you, you
Yeah.
want to get the goods. Offer the donuts.
For the donuts. Jerry says, it goes back to the old adage, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah,
That is good words, man.
yeah,
I
very.
never heard that adage, but that is smart.
Yeah, it really, and that's kind of like what we talk about in the course is
All the time.
when you provide value and you care and you actually find like your voice of like how you like get into speaking with people and not trying to be someone else, but just be yourself.
Mhm.
It resonates with people. And when it does, that's when you have really massive growth, which that massive growth leads to massive referrals. And that's the whole reason that we talk about this is because like YouTube is specifically built for everybody to be unique, to share their experiences. And with 100 and what I think it was like 122 million users every day,
Mhm.
like you're going to have plenty of people that are going to be like, oh, I like this type of thing. As a matter of fact, like one of our students, Jackie's very good at dropping little clips of things that only her avatar is going to get. And they're going to look at it and be like, that's funny. Like she gets me. Like I
Mhm.
like her even more because we're in this little club now of we like the same kind of movies or
Yep.
whatever it is. But the more real you are and the more real you are as a person, and translating that through to the camera, because it's super hard to like talk to a lens and be like, who's literally on the other side watching this. But
It's hard.
it is very hard. But if you are consistent and you'll do it, you'll find that it becomes easier because your ability has gotten better. And that's when it allows you to be more fluid and more like yourself rather than worrying if you're looking at the right thing or if you're saying the right stuff. And I know I'm going on a rant, but I'm going to say another thing really quick. So a lot of people have this feeling that if they go on a live stream that they have to know everything, and
Oh,
that and that if they don't know it, they don't want to look dumb. Like I've talked to many agents, and that is like one of their biggest takeaways is or worries is I don't want to look dumb. Guess what? Like
we
you're
don't know
not
it
yeah, you're not dumb. And the people that are watching, they're gonna look at you. You know a lot more than they do.
all. Yeah.
And the thing is that you may have some people that will chip at you or whatever, but as you're consistent and growing, guess what you get? You get a good following that has your back.
I will say this is that we think that other people on the other side know as much as we do when it
Right.
comes to real estate. And I've found out because I mean, like the way I talk to people, they're like, you make it so incredibly simple. If a real estate agent was to watch my content, they would be like, yeah, we all know that. No, we don't. The process, even if they bought a house 10 years ago, they forget so many different
Yep.
steps along the way.
Yeah.
So when you simplify that and talk to them directly and you come from a place of really trying to help them, they're 10 times more likely to reach out to you than trying to use a certain call to action. The thing that I will say that really does grab people in is exactly what Jeremy Blanton said earlier. You tell them a really good story.
Yep.
And then at the end of that story, say, look, I'm never too busy to help you, just like I helped that client. So why don't you go ahead and, reach out to me. All my contact information is in the pinned comment. And that alone will bring in more people.
Yep.
During your live streams, if you say during the live stream, somebody will ask a question, they'll say, I hate my real estate agent, da, 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 da. And you answer them and say, hey, you're not stuck with your real estate agent. You can fire them. They work for you and you can fire them. You're the boss in this. And if you're having trouble finding a real estate agent or you want to work with me, look, my contact information is in the pinned comment. So feel free to reach out to me. Not only did you invite them to be a part of your little group, you've invited everybody else that was watching that live stream as well. And every time that somebody asks me that, just as a random question, I get more responses because that person asked. They were like, oh, well, she helped her. I'm sure she wants me to reach out too.
Right. And the thing is that if you don't have a call to action, they don't think to ask. So you need to let them know that you're there, and not in a, hey, work with me, it's you're providing value, like Christina's saying, and then you follow up with that and you weave it into your story as you're talking about it. So like, hey, I've experienced stuff like this, then man, we can definitely help you out. I even have a link down at the bottom. Go ahead and click it. And if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to you. Just reach out to me. It could be that simple. And people are going to be like, he really cares.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not asking, for a lead or this or that. Like he really is saying he's got the time. And I'll add this on top of that is consistency increases your likelihood of getting more and more leads because they look at it for a while. They may be watching you for a while and then go, you know what? Like I've been watching him or her, and they have provided so much value. I just want to see what it's all about. Like, what exactly is it about? And one thing that you can do is if you have, I'm going to pull up this really quick because I think this is important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull up, let's see. Yeah, geez, give me 1 second.
While you're doing that, I want to show something really quick, if you don't mind.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So another way to get leads, and it is the simplest thing you could possibly do. And I totally thought it was horse crap because I heard it from another coach. And he said, this is from our group. Joe and I are part of a Daryl's group, and it's with a bunch of other coaches that coach all sorts of stuff. And he doesn't coach real estate agents. He coaches brands, but he told everybody to have a QR code in your banner.
Yep.
And I was like, how many times does people actually click on a channel and look at the banner? But what he was saying was you have that in the banner because people are watching it more on their televisions, and they can take their phone and scan it and they're going to your websites.
Yeah, that runs perfectly with what I was going to show. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
so
easy, no call to action. Just literally go and make yourself a QR code.
Because they're sitting on their couch. They got their phone in their hand and they're watching YouTube on their TV.
Yep. So what are you going to show?
So what I'm going to show is, let's find it here. Geez.
And it wasn't some secret call to action. That's the funniest thing. It wasn't like it's simple, free.
Yeah, it's simple. It's nothing crazy. It's very simple. Let's see here. I don't know why. Well, here, let me just send it to you in the private chat because for whatever reason yours is pulling up and mine is not. So give me 2 seconds.
You might have logged in a different way, maybe.
I don't know. It's weird. Well, it's just not showing up the screen. But all right, I sent it to you. Did you get it?
Okay.
And then maybe just share. So when they scan the QR code, this is the thought is you're providing value. The very first thing that you're going to see is yourself with, hey, giving you a dose of your reality, because that's part of her tagline, right? and then let's talk. Like, how inviting is that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's very inviting, very simple, but that right there is you don't need this elaborate website. You don't need all of this stuff. All you need is a landing page or a squeeze page like this. They click on it and then it puts their information in, and now you've got an opportunity to follow up with someone that's very interested in talking with you. But it did not take this huge elaborate thing. All it was a QR code and a link that's pinned in your comments and then in your about section.
I'm just sitting there. Let's talk. I want to see what it does. Oh, it doesn't do anything. Oh, okay. So it's just a page.
Well, okay. So that's her old one. Let me show you what I'll do this. We've got a new one that we're launching for her. So give me 1 second, and it's way better. It looks the same, but there's a lot of automation that goes with it where she shouldn't have it with that because it's a little bit more of a simple site.
Yeah. And that would be the other thing too, is that I've seen some people, they have a link to their website and the link to the website goes to so many different things.
Yeah. It distracts.
Right. So create a landing page where all they have to do is fill out 3 questions: your first name, last name, your phone number, and your email address. And then maybe a space for what's your real estate question or buy or sell. That's it. Don't ask for a whole dissertation.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So this one is a little bit different, but it's the same thing, right? So let me find it here because I went to the wrong screen. Okay. So when you hit let's talk, it'll just pull up, has the information, and then you just put that in, and that's all you need to do. And if you're buying or selling, they ask different questions. But then from there, it will automatically send it to her. It will also send an email to them and a text and let them know, hey, thank you so much for filling this out, and we're going to be in touch very soon. And the reason that we're doing that is because they may be doing it late at night or whatever. They may be doing it early in the morning, but this allows them to auto respond to them without having to actually manually do it. And then she can then reach out to them for a time to actually have a phone call. And it's super effective.
Yep. And then another call to action that is like a soft sell without having to be very pushy. Just say, like, if you're looking to contact me, look in that pinned comment. So you can pin any comment in your YouTube videos. So I always pin my content I direct them to another video, and I put in my website. You can do it any way you want to, but that would be where you would want that landing page to go ahead and, book a call or whatever it is that you have that makes it very simple for them to get a hold of you when you're not at the phone.
Right.
Some way that they can contact you, that you can go back and reach out to them. One of the greatest things about YouTube leads is that they seem to be a lot more forgiving than other internet leads. So when you are, not there and you can't get to them within 24 hours, when you do call them, they're not nearly as aggressive. Like, oh, that's okay, I called somebody else, you didn't answer. Like when back in the day, I used to do Zillow leads. If you had to call them ASAP, like instantaneously, or they
immediately
calling somebody else. And whenever a Facebook lead came in, that same kind of thing. Like I was on them like white on rice. Like I really freaked out to make sure that I was speaking to them immediately because they would go somewhere else. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's because they feel like they have that parasocial relationship with you. When you do call them, even if it's a week later, they're like, oh, I know that you're so busy. Thank you so much for calling me. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to speak to you. Like they're so overwhelmed that you've taken the time to give them a call. It's a completely different.
They're happy you called them.
Right. It's just so much better than any kind of farming that you can do. It's so much better than any kind of lead gen from the internet that you can do. You made this video 6 months ago, and it will continue to bring you business for years down the road, as long as you're providing value to that avatar and you understand, like you're doing these soft sales and not trying to do really aggressive, pushy sales, calls to action.
Right.
That's what I say.
Yeah, no, it's true. And the thing is that like all of this stuff that we're talking about, like you don't have to do all at once. Like everything can be done like baby steps. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you guys, like there's just so much to know and there's so much to do. And it's like, I don't know, like think about like how real estate was when you very first started, like you pass the test and you're like, oh, I know everything about real estate. And then you get your first deal and you're like, what the heck was I? They didn't teach me anything.
Oh, they just teach you nothing. I was so terrified. I was so terrified that I made my broker sit down with me while I did my first deal. And the guy like looks at me. He's like, do you know what you're doing? I said, no, I don't. He's like, is this your first real estate transaction? I said, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, but she's going to be with me. And she's been doing this for 30 years. She goes, I'm not going anywhere, hon. That's my name on her license. He didn't buy from me, but at least I was honest.
Yeah.
But, Alicia said something good. It says, what systems do you recommend for email automation to respond to leads? I have an answer to this, but I want to hear your answer, Joe.
My answer would be I'm a big believer in high level. Some people call it go high level, but high level is if you're looking at everything from procuring leads to working with them to creating content.
Owning those leads.
It's the easy, I mean, it's robust. It's the simplest system to actually get stuff out if you have the right automation set up. And it's very, very efficient. And it's my favorite thing by far. I've used a lot of different CRMs and this one is the best by a long shot.
And another thing I want to just point out there, I know that many real estate agents love to use their company CRM because it is so robust and they do have some good systems within your brokerage, but nothing would be worse than one day your brokerage shuts down and they have cut off access to all the systems that you had available. You do not own that system. You do not own those leads if it's in their CRM. You can download them, but if they've shut it off and you haven't downloaded it, or you downloaded it 3 months ago, well, how much good is that going to do you?
Yeah.
So when you have your own system like Go High Level or any CRM that's not attached to your brokerage, they're yours. They belong to you always. So I would strongly suggest never, ever, 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 ever just use your company's CRM. I know it's convenient. I know it's part of the sales portion of their brokerage. They offer this to you for free, but nothing in life is free. And God forbid your brokerage shut down tomorrow. They turn off the lights and they've turned off all access to that CRM. Own your data.
Or you have a dispute because you're on a team, or you have like there's lots of reasons why you want to own your own data. And that's the simplest one is because then you control everything. But there worst case scenarios, yes, a brokerage could shut down. Other things that I've seen personally happen is agents that are on teams, they end up changing terms. People aren't happy. They don't get the lead that they had been working on for a year. Now all of a sudden is not their lead anymore. Like there's all kinds of things when it comes to CRMs and databases. Is I believe 100% that you should be able to own your data and you should be able to export it at any time that you want. And if you're using a CRM that holds it hostage, then get rid of that CRM because it's not worth it. The money is in your lists and in the value that you bring, that you can continue reaching out to those clients that you've procured that.
I wanted to ask you this. Do you think that people that make these like downloadable PDFs to get leads, is a good way to get leads on YouTube. It used to be, and I found that it wasn't so much for me. But how do you feel about that?
I don't, it depends. I think maybe on the, like the industry, definitely real estate is not one that like would be like at the top at all anymore. That was a huge thing, or a custom CMA or something like that. Right. But I do think that there is value if you were to provide a course or instruct, like something that even like that stand alone from YouTube that you could then give them access to something. I do think that there is something like a actual video course on a home buyer's guide, or
That's better than a downloadable PDF.
yeah, like it's actually you talking again and you giving information. And then, yes, you can have a checklist form and all of that, but you build it into this little mini course that they then, now they're even more like glued to you, because they're like, I got your list. I watched your videos. I've done everything that you've said. I'm ready to go. And you offer that at a, maybe it's, I mean, we're going out here talking about lead generation. Maybe it is you're selling how to negotiate between agents, and let me show you the tactics that they're going to use. Buy this little course to help you. Like there's lots of ways again to monetize. And, if you're giving out content on YouTube about staying away from these type of agents anyways, take a little deeper dive and offer a little mini course that's, an hour long. And now all of a sudden you've just provided
a secret door into
secret
information.
You provided even more value, and they're like even more open to like saying, okay, well, I've done everything you said, but I really don't know who to talk to. So could you provide someone for me?
Right.
Exactly. Is the PDF thing? No, I don't think it is like in its glory days. It's kind of like the Encyclopedia Britannica. Like,
yeah. I mean, it did work. It worked great for blogs and stuff like that. But I think its days are done. But I love it. Of course, love that.
People are lazy. Like they don't want to read a PDF. But if you could tell them something and they could watch it in little snippets of 2 to 5 minute little videos, they'll do that.
Yep. Jeremy says, when you call back a YouTube lead, they're excited to talk to you. They treat you like a celebrity. They don't care if it's been 24 hours or 3 days. I have one that was 3 weeks old, and I was like, and they were like, I saw on my TV that you were, traveling a lot, so it's fine. And I'm like, I felt like such a jerk, that I missed her. Like I just kept calling. And
but compare that to a Zillow lead that you waited 2 minutes.
Like, who are you?
Exactly.
Yeah. Jerry says, never use your brokerage CRM. My company has changed CRMs 4 times in the past 10 years. And I ain't got time for learning all them new systems. I ain't got time. No, I agree.
Dude, that's a really good point. Jeremy brings up like an excellent point of just, brokers also get very excited about new shiny things. And they think that, if I provide this, or if I do this, then I'm going to get more agents because they're going to like this. And it screws up your workflow as a producing agent. You're like, what the, like, why are we changing? Like, I thought we were good. Like we did KV Core. Now we're doing Lion Desk. Now we're doing 100 other things. Like, Chime. Oh, Boomtown. Okay. Like we're doing all of them. But the thing is, like you bring up a really good point, is if you have your own CRM, who cares? They can change it all they want. And I'm a creature of habit. I hate change. And so when I started my brokerage, I was with a brokerage for 10 years. So I was like, I'm just replicating their system because I liked it until they changed CRMs and everything. And I'm like, screw this, I'm out. And that literally was one of the biggest things where I'm like, they can't make up their mind. I'm out. And so we haven't switched since, because it wasn't broken. So I didn't need to fix it. So to your point, the excellent point.
Yep. Thank you, Jeremy.
Man,
Thank you.
he's like, we should just have him on as like
I've had him
actually like live stream and talk with us here instead of
I've
always just,
on when
huh?
you I've had him on when you were gone. I needed a friend, and he was
Well,
like,
maybe I
"Oh,
need a friend.
yeah, well, Jeremy's my friend. He can't be your friend.
Yeah,
He belongs
yeah.
to me." We have an interview to do today.
All right, let's check it out.
All right, we got Alexander Brandu. Did I say that right? Brandu? That's how I would say it.
We've done this one before. I wonder if he's made some updates.
Well, it looks like, if I remember correctly, I think he's really updated his channel banner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like this. The only thing I don't like is kind of like he's kind of coming through but that's just a personal thing. I like
Mhm.
coming through.
You mean like where he's not just like all the way?
Yeah, he's kind of cut off. It looks
Mhm.
like he's kind of coming out of the city, but in a way that's kind of eye catching too. So
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't mind his profile picture too. His bow tie must be his like branding.
Signature. Yeah.
Yeah, his little branding.
Hey, real quick, if that's your thing, go on and get an affiliate link to all the bow ties and start putting an affiliate link on there so that people can buy a bow tie and you get paid for it.
Yeah, if you are in a local area, you could go with a local tie maker that makes bow ties, and you guys could do a split marketing.
Yeah, yeah.
Affiliate
that right there is one way you can monetize without having to have monetization going if your channel's smaller.
Yep, and you're already doing it. It's already part of who you are. So
yeah.
Yep. All right. It says your hub for Nashville luxury real estate, lifestyle, and local market trends. We are a simplified real estate journey, providing expert insights and tips for both sellers and buyers. Discover the pinnacle of luxury real estate while staying tuned to local updates. The only thing I would tell you is that either you're working with sellers or you're working with buyers.
Yeah, decide.
Yeah, the thing that sucks about YouTube is that you have to be very specific. And the type of avatar that is buying a home is a completely different person than that is selling a home. Their pain points are completely different. So when you focus on one of the two, you're going to be much better off than trying to be a little bit for everybody. That's the only thing I'll tell you, but that's on you.
So did really quick in the about section again, is his link verified? Is that because it does not look like it's a hyperlink?
It is not a hyperlink. So you may want to need to verify your channel. You may want to just go into your YouTube settings and look for verify when it's in the like on the left-hand side, you'll see settings, and then it will tell you like different things that you can do to verify your channel. Just go over there and check them out. So that way this link would be blue.
Yeah. One other thing really quick. So I've done some split testing with Calendly, and I'm going to could we open that link for a second?
Which link?
The Calendly link that he's got there.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Could we just pull it into a new, because we're talking about lead generation. These little small adjustments and tweaks will make a big difference on you getting a hold of or not.
Oh, okay. Let me share this tab. It says appointment not found. Your link is broken.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's terrible. So that would be one reason why you're not getting, you need to be checking this stuff. Like I would say at least once a month, you got to check it to make sure that they're working. But now here's the other thing with Calendly's, when you go to a Calendly link, it actually lets you pick the time and day, which is ideal. It's awesome. But the problem is that when you do that, you don't actually collect their information until they pick a date and time first. So it's reverse. Like really it should be like, here's my information. And then it captures that information and then they could pick a time to schedule with you. And so High Level will let you do that where Calendly won't. And so this is another reason why when you're looking at like, well, does that really matter? Yeah, it really matters because they may fill out the information, but they may not have a specific time. They just have a question and they want you to reach out to them when it's convenient for you. Like when you tell them to just pick an appointment time, now you got to remember that a time and you got to remind them to remember that time. And then on top of that, like it's just a little bit harder than if they reach out to you, and then you reach back out to them. Like, and that can be automated, obviously, but then what you do is have a time that is actually scheduled, but you do that in real time rather than a Calendly, because you may be gone or you haven't updated your Calendly. So it's booking a time when you're not available. And those things do matter when you're lead generating. So if you leave it more on the open-ended side of things, so if it does take you 3 weeks, they're not pissed because you missed your appointment.
Yep.
So sorry, I didn't mean to go on, but that is one thing that I've noticed that makes a big difference.
Well, while you were talking, I was kind of canvassing his stuff. So this literally proves our point. Either you're talking to buyers or you're talking to sellers, one or the other. Because if you look, his view counts are kind of low for the amount of times. I mean, this is a 3-month-old video, and it hasn't even reached 500 views. If you focus on one, it'll be good. The thing I want to tell you is that your audience, because you have 605 subscribers, but this video right here, the 6 new construction upgrades to avoid, your audience wants to hear from you about new construction. So I think you're a buyer's agent or buyer's channel for new construction. And that's where I think you need to focus.
Yeah. And then remove part 2 on your title.
Right. Yep. But I mean, for him, that even worked though. Like, I want to know where part 1 was.
That's what I mean. Like if you don't have that, then they're like, the problem with parts, and this is why we say this, is because they're not going to go back and try to find part 1 or part 2. You could say almost the same content and you're going to reach different people. So going back to that thumbnail, so if you can avoid it, not on that one, but like that one's a good thumbnail, because it's
my favorite one.
Yeah, because it's showing like, oh, you got an issue. It grabs attention, right? Red is really hard to read on thumbnails. Yeah. So if you're using red text and then you're doing a white outline, it's really hard to read.
Yep.
So and remember, they may be looking on their phone, they may be on the TV or whatever, but what you really want is you want people to understand what your video is about without having a bunch of text. And you could have the same effect with the words "uh-oh" and then that big thing, and that's now they're like, oh, it's a kitchen, there's something wrong in the kitchen. But you didn't have to say worst home upgrade.
Right. So or you could do this one. It says inspection fails to avoid.
I couldn't even read the inspection part.
I know it's difficult. Like, I'm in here like this, but what I would say avoid this, and then like pointing to like the double ovens. That's all you got to do is avoid this, and then have an arrow pointing to the double ovens. Yep. Very similar to what you did here. Worst new home upgrades, right? So the thing is that you already have upgrades to avoid, right? And I would just put worst upgrade. You didn't even have to put new home because it says new construction in the title. Yeah,
you have it in your title. And that's kind of how the viewer looks at things, is they're going to see the thumbnail first, and then they're going to understand it one way or another, and then they're going to get a reinforcement through the title of whatever that title is. So the thumbnail is to catch their attention. The title is to give them context for what the video is about. And when you have a really good thumbnail and a really good title, then you have lots of views.
I have to show you this because this is so funny. I don't know. I swear you're not a real estate YouTuber unless you have that freaking house at least.
Every house. It's been on
that thumbnail. That thumbnail right there. If you do not have at least one video with that house on the thumbnail, you're not a YouTube real estate agent.
Let's look at his top performing videos real quick.
Okie dokie. That would be fantastic. I can do that. All right. 9 months ago, he said, don't sell your home. What? Sell. So 2 sells, new construction. So he could either be a seller or he can be a new construction.
Yeah.
But it seems like if you average this out, it's
new construction.
Mm-hmm. Yep. New construction.
And that's another reason why that video, your other video popped off more, is because you've been making some pretty good content about new construction. And so that's, that's a big part of it. Okay, here's another thing, a big tip. If you're going to do your face or your head or anything, the one with the blue tape where it's like you're doing it wrong, if you were to, I like how you have the tape in the background and everything, I would just have on there wrong. And then make your noggin massive.
You
Just
gotta
fill up that screen so the blue tape on your mouth is like you can just see it really, really clear.
Yep.
Right now, that's what we're seeing is the YouTube is liking big faces covering chin to the top of your head, the whole thumbnail.
Yep. Like you really want to be in there like this. I mean, that's how big. Like if you look at my thumbnails now, Joe and I look at thumbnails every day. We're always researching YouTube, and that seems to be the thing. Like have your face big on that screen.
But that's a great thumbnail. I mean, just a couple little tweaks, and because here's the other thing is you'd want to look at what the background is. If I were going to do it, since I'm talking about it anyways, is instead of, and I know blue tape is construction, but what I would do is I'd leave the blue tape on your face, make your head really big, and just have wrong, and then have all those blue tape X's red. Because that's going to pop. The blue is like, but red is like, because of the color, it's a caution, right? It's a warning. It's wrong. It's stop. Now you have wrong, and I would probably do wrong really, really big in white.
Yep. And if you wanted to like emphasize it just to make yourself feel better, you could put a red shadow behind it,
Yep.
But I'll tell you this too. Like I know this is a top performing video, and we always say, don't change thumbnails that are top performing. I would change this one because I think it has the potential
to go bigger,
even bigger. But if you're not wanting to do that, why don't you just make another video basically doing the same exact thing, but using those tips that we've given you to master on that success of the last video.
That's actually even a better tip, is to just make new content, because your audience already likes it. Follow that theme, and then you'll see a wave of higher views, because the algorithm has already identified viewers that like this kind of content. And when you put something out that is similar and enough time has passed, it can pop off.
Absolutely. Yep. Ken says, aloha. Would you recommend a landing page for leads to fill in the information and call them if Calendly isn't available to capture their information?
Absolutely.
Yep. Nice to see.
High level actually has the same automation that Calendly has, except for you can actually have them fill out the form, and then it will take them to where they can schedule it. So then the reason I know this is for my property management stuff. Like everything is, we gather their information first, and then they schedule a showing or a tour.
I concur, Joe Eves. I concur. Oh, you know what? I think everybody needs to be reminded, because if you guys have I know some of you that are in the audience are students, but you may not know this, but the Real Estate Video Geeks course on January 1 is going to be increased in price. So if you have any friends or other colleagues that are interested in taking the course, it's going to be a lot more at the start of January 1. Tell them to go ahead and sign up now, even if they're not planning on taking the course right now. That way they have it at the cheaper price. It is going up.
Hey, I asked Jackie to tell her experience. Can we share that really quick?
Sure. What page?
It's a video file. Let me just see if I can upload it. I'm like, tell me, because we had a live or a call with her, and we were talking about some stuff. And then when we got done, I'm like, hey, tell me all this again, but like really, really short. So I'm gonna share this really quick.
Okay.
Taking this course has changed my channel dramatically, and it was so worth it. Working with Joe and Christina has just been amazing. These guys are the best in the business. They are super smart when it comes to the YouTube platform. And I will tell you, my channel has really taken off, and I credit them. Since going viral earlier this year, I have generated so many referral leads that I'm referring out on a daily basis. I'm getting several leads a day. And on top of that, I'm making some pretty good YouTube ad revenue, which I didn't think was possible. And I used to argue with Christina to say I didn't believe it. I didn't think you could make that kind of money off of YouTube. Oh, yes, you can. It's very possible. And it's so helpful during times of a down real estate market that I have some income coming in from YouTube. So if you're contemplating taking this course, I highly, highly suggest that you consider it. It will blow your channel up. If you already have one, or if you're just starting out, definitely take this course so you'll learn how to do it the right way.
Look at her. She's off to the side there. Thank you, Jackie. That was
Yeah,
nice.
that was very kind of her. But it's true. She's now listen, I will say this, that all of our students that have had real success put the work in. They do what we tell them, and then they're accountable, and even the smallest things they'll do because it works. So it's not about, there's not like this easy button, and it's not something that it's just going to automatically work for you. You have to work, but the system works, and we have plenty of students that have had massive success from what they were doing compared to when they take our course, do what we're doing, tell them how to follow it, and then they learn how to actually grow their own channel with their own business. Then, but it isn't. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It's not just a, hey, I'm gonna do this kind of on the side, part time, whatever. Like, this is legitimately like you time spending as if you were out, lead generating in other avenues, either canvassing or any of the other stuff that you've done. It takes effort.
I concur, Joe Eves. I'm going to go ahead and put the link to the course in the comments there. So if anybody was interested in looking at it, the website is realestatevideogeeks.com. Realestatevideogeeks.com. So, all right, everybody. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope you learned a really easy ways to start increasing your lead flow here on YouTube. It is possible, and I want everybody to be successful in 2025, because that's all Joe and I have ever wanted for everybody. It's just to be successful, because the money's there, the leads are there. You just have to know the right kind of content and do the right calls to action to get them there. So, all right, everybody. See you next Thursday. Be good.
Right. See ya.
Well, don't
Bye.
touch strangers. Oops. Listen to this thing. We're going to do it out.
It's the end of the stream. Christina and Joe taught you all the tricks, make your leads grow. From thumbnails to tags, you gotta be bold. YouTube's the key, turn your listings to gold. Edit those vids, make them snappy, make them fly. Engage with your audience, connect, don't be shy. Realtor to the core, but tech on your side. Hit that algorithm like a digital tide. This is the final click, now you're in the know. Use YouTube to flourish, let them listings blow. It's the small details that bring in the dough. From Christina and Joe, here's the way to go. Every upload strategic, so your views ain't stopping. Consistency's key, schedule that drop. Content's king, crown it at the top. So you learn the ropes from two of the best. Christina and Joe, put your skills to the test. Turn those leads into clients, make your channel explode. Realtor success on the digital road. This is the final click, now you're in the